Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and I continue with Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 2, Blind. Now I had to redo a significant chunk because the game actually froze and I haven't saved in quite a bit, so hopefully there is an opportunity to save soon enough. Also, I'm very close to death, which is also a problem for obvious reasons. This is not great. Oh, and I have to defeat them to proceed. Great, I'm already dead. Oh, this is bad. Okay, that was a close call. Yeah, I would really like to find one of those spaces in which I can save, because I'm feeling really uncomfortable about the prospect of retreading so much ground. Well, at least I got this. This is like a checkpoint, basically. And if this is the exit from the Temple of the Sarafan, then the save spot should be right next to it. So that's okay, I guess. Okay, there is a save slot here, which is great. And I guess I'm going back to the swamp, but I will actually swing by all of the locations, you know, on the way there, because I want to see how they changed after I switched timelines again. You know, it has been 100 years, so some interesting changes might have occurred. Although it seems Mobius's people are still more or less around, even if they look a little bit different, and even if he himself is actually already dead in this timeline. I will ignore most of them. To be honest, it has only been a couple of hours, but I'm already kind of done with this game's combat. Like, it's not really that fun to me, and there's tons of enemies who also seem to respawn. So there's little reason for fighting them. It's not like you get any actual reward for doing that. You don't get experience, you know, you don't get money. You know, there seems to be no actual point in fighting them. So I just can't be bothered, to be honest, most of the time. I'm mostly playing this game to discover more of the lore, because I have to admit, it is at least a little bit more engaging than Soul Reaver 1. It nicely develops some of the plot points from that game. Where does this go? So I guess this path doesn't exist anymore. It does. So what's the... No, it doesn't. Okay, I spoke too soon. Yeah, but this game seems a little bit denser on the lore aspect. Like there's, I think, more cutscenes than in Soul Reaver 1, and they are longer. I do enjoy that because, to be honest, the voice acting is still rather good. I just don't particularly... I just don't find Raziel himself particularly interesting, but the Elder God and Kain are still pretty cool. And overall, the story, as convoluted as it is interesting to me. I am eager to learn more about what's happening.
These were the pillars so familiar to my blighted eyes. But now that I had begun to learn their true significance, I regarded the pillars' destruction with a new, enlightened sense of horror. And I questioned now whether Kain's simple refusal, his mere ambition, could truly have caused such devastation. I felt that some darker influence was at work here. As I approached, I discerned the spirit of Ariel, bound here now for more than a century.
Forever am I bound, hope abandoned, my spirit tethered to this place. What destroyed the circle could not touch me, for I was newly dead and beyond harm's reach. I alone was spared the descent into madness, and Kain alone was spared the pain of death. When Napraptor's poison seized Kain even in the safety of the womb, much more than just his destiny was lost. All of Nosgoth lost balance. Consider us now, both of us less than we once were. I, pure but insubstantial, and Kain terribly real, but corrupted.
Your imprisonment here has deranged you, spirit. You fixate on Kain because you believe he is the tether that binds you here. But we both know he is not the author of your agony. The pillars were subverted by dark forces, invited by the Guardians themselves. The more I learn of your circle, the more I see a tangle of nested manipulations.
Kain handed them their victory. They sought to topple the pillars, and he was their willing instrument.
Or was he their unwilling pawn? Would it blunt your wrath to know that Kain's dilemma was calculated to bring the pillars down, regardless of the choice he made? And that the devastation would have been even greater had he chosen the path you would prescribe for him?
You are a subtle, deceitful creature. But your clever arguments do not absolve Kain. He must die for the pillars to be restored. There is no other way.
Then consider this more ominous possibility. What if Kain's death does not restore the pillars? Consider that it may simply be too late, that this world may be beyond redemption, and that you may be bound here eternally.
Why do you hound me, demon? You can see that I am captive here. Show me some mercy.
Like the mercy you showed your fellow guardians when you set Kain on them? Or the mercy you showed Kain when you kept him ignorant of his destiny while you used him as the scourge of the circle? Or perhaps like the mercy you showed your beloved Naprapta when you made him Kain's first kill?
You are cruel. Why do you torment me?
I'm merely looking for answers, Ariel. Ah, very well. I'll leave you in peace. But know this about you and this purgatory from which you long to escape. You're merely at the threshold.
Actually, I have not considered this, but it's interesting. I don't really understand why are all of the pillars corrupted. It seems to contradict Blood Omen 1, because after you killed each of the guardians and laid their offering in front of their particular pillar, it was restored and it turned white again. And in the end, the only one that was still corrupted was the central one, the Pillar of Balance, because obviously Kain refused to sacrifice himself. So I'm not sure why are they all corrupted now, but I guess it might be assumed that in time the Pillar of Balance. Okay, I'm dead. The Pillar of Balance corrupted them all, like again, because it was like seeping corruption or something. I wonder if the chamber beneath the pillars is still going to exist, and if the Elder God is going to be there. Obviously, he is a very crucial. He seems to be a very crucial character, all things considered. Even though obviously at this point I am unsure what his exact deal is, as it were.
Raziel, the failed assassin. You had Kain at your mercy, but lacked the courage to fulfill the act. And now you see the wasteland wrought by the tyrant's hand, by his selfish decision to preserve his own life, even when it meant sacrificing the whole world. This is the fate of Nosgoth, as long as Kain remains alive.
An ironic condemnation, given this guilty scene. One would think you'd torn down the pillars single-handedly. What are you trying to obliterate as you drag your loathsome body through this chamber? And why, as Nosgoth descends into madness and misery, do you appear to thrive? Things in this world, I am learning, are rarely what they seem. You, apparently, are no exception.
I am the engine of life, the source of Nosgoth's very existence. I am the hub of the wheel, the origin of all life, the devourer of death.
Or maybe you're just hungry. Could it be as simple as that? Wouldn't that be poetic irony? The great adversary of the vampires turns out to be the biggest parasite of them all.
Do not test my patience, Raziel. I made you, and I will unmake you if I become so inclined.
As your agent, I am beyond death.
There are fates worse than death, Raziel.
Oh, I see you now as you truly are. A cancer. A spooling parasite burrowed deep in the heart of this world.
Go now. Play out your pitiful rebellion and take your place among the destroyed, the used, and the damned. But know this, you are mine for eternity. You have always been, and will always be, my Soul Reaver.
Okay, before I get inevitably killed, let me utilize this. Okay, where did I come from? I think it was... Ah, right, from here, but I need to dive to proceed.
You are a puny creature, more fragile than you realize.
I think this was wholly submerged in the other era. Originally the passage was through here. I will turn the Reaver into the Dark One, because I don't think I don't think there are instances in which I specifically need the neutral one, so I don't think there's any harm in turning it, just in case I happen to need this particular one, as opposed to just the neutral one. Okay. Some mightily weird creatures.
Beyond this edifice lay my sole hope of escaping this demon-infested wasteland. The time-streaming device contained therein offered my only prospect of journeying back into Nosgoth's early history. Unless I discovered some means of breaking the seal, I was condemned to be stranded here eternally.
Okay, so I guess I'm again retreading known ground. Because Raziel suggested I should check if the big tree that obscured the path in the swamp before has gotten cleared. I assume it probably did, but the bonus thing is that there's a save opportunity soon-ish. Which I definitely do need and want. Okay, save.
The passage of time had indeed cleared my way forward, enabling me to explore the northern mountains of Nosgoth. I was anxious to discover if some evidence of Janos Ordren's existence might still remain.
But wait. That makes no sense. He was already dead in the past, so he's like deader than dead. I'm not sure why would I be looking for him here. It seems to me what I need is the access to the time streaming device, so that I can actually go into the past, because obviously that's where he might be, whereas he for sure ain't here because he was already dead before. I doubt slapping another 100 years on top of that would have changed anything. If anything, it's probably more difficult to find any particularly useful or important information about him here after he's been dead for a century, at least for a century more, than it would be where it just was, which was like a shorter time from his death. Okay, but where now? I guess maybe I can climb this, although it's rather indistinct compared to all of the other sides of the wall. So that was a little bit cheeky. Wait, did this exist? I don't remember such a structure from before. Although I guess this at the very least must have existed. The bars, because I roughly remember phasing through them. Okay, this doesn't actually work, which is interesting. Okay, there was a lever here the entire time, so I just wasted everyone's time because I need to find a place where I will be able to change back.
Here I discovered the quaint hamlet of Ushtenheim, now long abandoned and collapsing into ruin. Legend claimed that Janos Ordran terrorized its villagers until the Sarafan hunters ferreted him out and destroyed him. If there was any truth to the old tales, the lair of the infamous vampire would not be far away.
Okay, Ustenheim definitely looks more impressive than it did in Blood Omen 1. Because in Blood Omen 1 it has just been a couple of huts, whereas here it is a sizable enough little town with rather big buildings and well built as well. It's not just, you know, thatched roofs and simple wooden walls and construction, but you have like actual brick houses with tiles on the roof, so not bad at all. Oh, and there's an opportunity to save as well. Which is pretty great, and I think I'll take it. Okay, there's a checkpoint, which is pretty good.
This edifice was clearly not crafted by human architects. As the figure beneath the balcony silently attested, these were the aeries of winged beings. Undoubtedly, I stood before the mountain refuge of the legendary Janos Ordran, but the entire sanctuary lay in ruin, collapsed under the force of some ancient cataclysm. As I suspected, the time streamer's deception ensured that I was centuries too late to unearth anything of consequence here. With nothing behind me but the wasteland I had traversed, I resolved to press on and explore these canyons further. Oh no. Every time you turn up, something monumental and terrible happens. I don't think I have the stomach for it.
No drama this time, Raziel.
You are persistent, crossing time like this to follow me. Still waiting for that coin of yours to land on its edge.
I'm biding my time. I see that Mobius has played a little trick on you.
Yes. He clearly doesn't want me to meet this Janos Ordrin.
Perhaps. Or maybe he merely hoped that it would harden your heart against me, to see this wasteland which I single-handedly authored.
My heart doesn't need hardening, Kain. If I even suspected that destroying you would make any difference, I would do it this instant.
I knew you'd see through them, Raziel. Janos is indeed the key to your destiny, but you'll need to find your own way back into Nosgoth's past. Make no mistake though, Raziel. You and I are now in great danger. We are irritants here. Malevolent forces are being marshaled to eliminate us.
You talk as though we're allies.
Regardless of your sentiments, Raziel, in their eyes, we are.
Well, they're certainly trying to eliminate you, Kain. There can be no doubt of that. I am assaulted relentlessly with demands for your demise. Whatever it is that you're plotting, they're scared to death of you. As for me, I suspect they made a grave error when they allowed my unique resurrection. I don't think they know how to destroy me.
You mustn't underestimate them, Raziel.
And who exactly is this diabolical they to which we keep referring? If there's some grand conspiracy going on, the right hand doesn't appear to know what the left is doing. Even Mobius seems to be caught out at every turn.
Mobius is a puppet, Raziel. Haven't you realized that yet? That's the sweetest irony in all of this. Nosgoth, great manipulator, is their plaything. But the ones pulling the strings haven't shown their faces yet.
They don't like us unwriting their carefully choreographed history, though, do they?
You must understand, Raziel, we haven't unwritten history, we've merely rewritten it. The future flows around our petty actions, finding the path of least resistance, while admitting only the slightest alterations. This is the reshuffling you felt when you refused to kill me. And remember, Raziel, we are irritants in this regard as well. History will not allow the introduction of a paradox.
And if events cannot be reshuffled to accommodate the change?
It is the irritant who's expelled. Bear in mind, this may be exactly the outcome our enemies are trying to provoke. We must tread very carefully.
What I don't quite understand is how is Kain himself, going through time so easily? Because that was very clearly the same Kain who, the Kain from the previous universe as opposed to this universe Kain, because he referred, although, I was about to say that he referred to his and Raziel's meeting in the Cathedral of the Saravan. But to be honest, now that I think about it, it might have actually happened in this timeline's past as well. It has just happened 100 years ago. So maybe that was actually another Kain, although that has never been I don't think it has ever been established whether there do exist multiple instances of the same person in different universes, or if you hop universes, do they sort of converge into one? But I think it must be multiples, because there are specifically, for example, multiple Soul Reavers. So it isn't out of the question that there would be multiple people as well. Although that remains to be seen how exactly is that going to be managed by the game. I'm not going to lie, it would be pretty interesting to like meet another Raziel and have a discussion with him. That's where I came from though, so that doesn't actually help me that much. Right. Okay, I need to change back into corporeal form, if possible. Okay, I think I need to actually... Oh, I didn't need to backtrack that far. Or at all. That didn't really change much. To be honest, it almost didn't change anything. I guess I could get there, I think, but not from... not in this state. I need to change back. Okay, there's the Light Reaver. Okay, that was close, but I guess I still live. An opportunity to save would be great, he says as he dies. I guess at least I have this, so I will be able to just repeat from over here, rather than having to retry a larger chunk. Well, I lost the light Soul Reaver, which is kind of a problem, actually. Oh, is it one of... It's one of this. I didn't even notice this. I thought I was hit by something else. So I need a dark Soul Reaver, right? But there's a shrine right there. So this at the very least should not be that big of a problem. Oh, for fuck's sake. I must be very tired, because I was so fixated on getting to the door. Man. Okay, I'll be going to bed. Like, I had a really busy week at work, and also some personal stuff, so I'm very tired at the moment. Not really thinking straight. So it's perhaps even less enjoyable to watch than it usually is. And obviously the commentary is probably less energetic as well. Even though I am, as I said, I am rather invested in the story itself. I'm not going to deny that.
The scenes I discovered here were unambiguous. This race of winged beings, the architects of the pillars and the creators of the Reaver, were Nosgoth's first vampires. Their bloodthirst appeared to be a curse, inflicted upon them by their vanquished enemies. These images confirmed the truths that Kain had divulged to me, but I had been too incredulous to accept. I struggled in vain to see how the pieces fit together, how Kain intended to escape the dilemma of his destiny, and what role he had plotted for me, and why Mobius and the dark powers with which he seemed to be allied were so desperate to see Kain dead, and so intent on me being the instrument of his execution.
But I don't quite get that, because if vampires are a different species altogether, then how come? Because Kain and Raziel were both humans, and even if we assume, which I guess is the point, that vampirism is like a curse or a disease that can afflict different species, even then it doesn't fully explain how it seems Raziel used to be a human, then he was turned into a vampire, but then he was turned into this, blue form by the Elder God, which seems almost as if he retroactively changed his race, changed his species into one of the blue creatures. So how does that work, and what does that mean? I don't quite know, to be entirely honest. I also don't entirely know what I'm doing, but judging by the prevalence of the light shrines, I probably should change the Reaver into the Light Reaver. Okay, and I can phase through this. Okay, this seems to be like another puzzle room, and I'm really tired. Like, this episode has been long enough regardless, to be honest, but in addition to it being rather long, I am also very tired and barely can string together a sentence, probably in Polish, but even in Polish, which is my native language, but doubly so for English. So I'm going to end it here. That's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.